When my family heard I'd be bringing my boyfriend home for Lunar New Year, my sister-in-law flipped the dinner table. She pointed at my face and screamed, "Diane, do you swore you'd never marry or have kids? That's the only reason I dared have a baby. My son needs money now. You're really going to leave us hanging. Planning to trick some guy into marrying you. I tried to set you up with my cousin's younger brother, and you refused, but now you drag a man home in the middle of the night." I stared at her meltdown, then at the soup and rice splattered across the floor. "Apologize," I said, voice cold, "or I'll shove your head down and make you lick every grain clean." She spat. "Apologize to you. Who do you think you are? My son is the heir to the Dew family. Why would I apologize? Heir to what exactly?" I almost laughed. My dad's a research nerd who shipped out with his institute to Antarctica years ago and stopped minding anything at home. My mother lives on afternoon tea, and facials her monthly spending money comes from me. My brother, he can't even afford gas. Every dollar in this house comes from my work. I never asked any of them to be grateful. I just didn't expect to raise an ingrate. My sister-in-law knows exactly how things are, but she keeps chanting heir because she's already decided that if I never marry or have kids, everything I earn will slide to her and her son. Looking at the food on the floor, something in me went numb. How did I let her climb on my head like this? It started an hour earlier. I got off work early to eat with Mom. The moment I walked in, my sister-in-law sniped that when I'd refused that blind date with her cousin, I'd insulted her side of the family, and that I owed them a Michelin dinner to apologize. I ignored her. At dinner, I casually said I was seeing someone and I'd bring him home for the holiday. She dropped her chopsticks, then demanded to know why I dared date behind her back. She ranted that she only felt safe having a kid because I'd said I wasn't getting married. "With your brother's salary, how would we raise him?" Otherwise, she barked. I stared at her. "So you had that child for me?" She went even madder and flipped the entire table. Hot dishes rolled across the floor. That was when I realized the fault was mine. The more I tolerated, the more she took me for a fool. I stood, grabbed her hair, and shoved her down. "Who gave you the right to waste food? Ever heard of basic decency? Apologize or eat it off the floor. Pick one. Who I love is none of your business. I was too nice to you. You thought you were my mother." Mom reeled and burst into tears. "What are you doing? Diane, let your sister-in-law go. You're being rude," I snorted. "So that's how it is. I'm the one she insulted, I'm the one she pointed at, and suddenly I'm the rude one. I work out. I'm not weak." My sister-in-law couldn't break free and swore at me. "Apologize my ass. Your brother may not make much, but you've got money. Shouldn't you fund his child? If you don't, I'll divorce him and you'll never see the kid again." I laughed. Threatening me with not seeing my nephew is like stabbing my tires with a toothpick. If you've got the guts, divorce. If you don't, I'll just despise you more. Mom panicked. That threat might not work on me, but it worked on her. She grabbed my arm, let her go, and apologize. "Aren't you not using that condo near the top elementary school? Put it in your sister-in-law's name to make up for this. It's for your nephew anyway. Be a good aunt." Ah, there it was. "Mom." I said, "Did you forget that I bought that condo with my money? Not a cent from this family." I'd never exposed her in front of my sister-in-law before. I always swallowed it to keep her dignity intact. But enough was enough. Mom stiffened. "What is this your money versus my money? Since when do mothers and daughters keep score?" I took a breath. "So your first suggestion is that I hand over a $700,000 condo. Great deal, send me more of those." She kept soothing my sister-in-law and glaring at me. "He's your nephew. Think of the child. Be a good aunt." Every time I hear "be a good aunt," I know I'm about to open my wallet. I used to help because my brother struggled. I co-signed the house, bought his car. He was grateful. Back then, even she pretended to be. I didn't nitpick family is family. But today they tore the mask off. Do they expect me to be their ATM forever? Mom, I said you know exactly why she's attacking me. I have a boyfriend. I'll have my own kids. Why would my money raise someone else's child? It's not someone else's, my sister-in-law shrieked. He's your brother's son. You want to disown him? Disown what? Are you insane? I snapped. Mom exploded. Did you forget last Lunar New Year? Gio wished that his aunt would make lots of money and give it all to him. You laughed and agreed. I choked on air. I remembered he'd wanted a second red envelope and joked he wanted me to make tons of money and hand it over. I'd forced a smile who argues with a preschooler on New Year's. Who knew one throwaway line to a child would be treated as a blood oath by a room full of adults? I stood. Keep dreaming, I said to both of them, and left. After that, Mom and I went cold. A week later, my brother Daniel brought me a lunch Mom cooked. He looked guilty. About the condo, we don't need it. I've got 2 hands. I'm not taking your place. Mom's just worried about Gio. The district only accepts kids who actually live there, but it's fine. He can go to a regular school. Worst case, if he doesn't do well, he can learn a trade. It's my fault for not being capable. I stared at the lunchbox and felt the manipulation click. He wanted to look like he wasn't taking while painting a future where his son would be doomed unless I caved. I slid the box back, too expensive for me to swallow. If not for the blow-up, I'd still be your little blood bank. He pretended not to get it. Open it while it's warm. Don't fight with Mom. She loves you most. All my favorite dishes. If Mom hadn't tossed off that shameless demand, maybe I would have never noticed how partial she is. I know you're not angling for my place, I said evenly. I'm not worried about you. Also, I've already found a buyer for that condo. I'm signing this week. His face darkened. It's your house. Do what you want. Saturday morning, someone pounded on my door. Diane. Open up. I knew exactly who it was, Mom and my sister-in-law dragging Gio along. Daniel hovered embarrassed. I slipped. They insisted on coming. My sister-in-law shoved the kid forward. Do you want to go to a good school, get on your knees and beg your aunt, or she'll sell the condo? She only has one nephew. When you grow up, you better be grateful. The boy burst into tears, sprinted inside, flopped on my sofa, and grabbed my game console. Mom hurried after him. Sweetie, don't do that. Then she gave me a pointed look. Aren't you going to watch your nephew? This was her style turn. Mountains into molehills, then erase the molehills. Not this time. I grabbed my car keys. I'm going out. All of you please leave. Mom chirped, out where we finally got everyone together. I'll cook. Daniel, go buy groceries. He scuttled off grinning. My sister-in-law calmed down immediately. I laughed without humor. You think playing dumb will shake money out of me? If you hadn't turned on me, I've never shorted Gio's New Year money. But I said leave. Your brother missed chances because we had no money. How can I watch my only grandson repeat that? When it was your turn, we were better off. You got to study and succeed, and now you're so heartless. She took a breath. Aren't you signing the condo today? Put it in your brother's name. We'll pay you back over time. You won't lose. I printed a promissory note and slapped it on the table. The condo's under contract for $700,000. If I breach, the penalty is $30,000, total $730,000. Who's signing? At what rate? What schedule will notarize? It's the best price in the neighborhood, I added. I'm not gouging you, but you're not gouging me either. Mom refused to sign. She lunged, shredded the paper, and flung the pieces everywhere. The cleaner charges $100 an hour, I said flatly. You can tidy this up yourself, or transfer me money and I'll hire someone. She raised her hand to hit me. For money, you'll cut off family. Today, that deed goes in your brother's name, she shouted. Period. That was when my boyfriend, Theo Tate, walked in just in time to see my mother's hand in the air. Everything froze. What's going on? He asked. Don't make me call building security, I said. No one will look good if I do. Theo took one look and understood. He greeted my mother politely. She sneered. This your boyfriend, skin and bones? Looks like a fence post. I nearly lost it. And a fence post still beats the man you tried to set me up with, pushing 300 pounds and harassing me on WhatsApp while demanding I treat him to a Michelin restaurant. Theo felt me shaking and wrapped an arm around me. Why don't you all give us some space? I'll talk to Diane. But my sister-in-law grabbed his sleeve. Space. If not for you, our family wouldn't be like this. She doesn't even care about her nephew. A woman who can ditch her own family, how long before she dumps you? Heat roared into my face. I marched to the kitchen, picked up a knife, and leveled it at her. Out! Or I swear I'll carve your face. That school district condo won't matter if your son doesn't live to use it. Gio shrieked. You're the bad guy. I want you dead. If you die, all your money will be mine. I'll kill you. He lunged at me. Theo pulled me behind him. I stood in his arms, knife still up, and felt a grief so deep it blurred my vision. Gio was only a preschooler. What did he know of death? Who was feeding him those lines? I looked at my mother, praying for a flicker of anger on my behalf. Instead, she snatched Gio and shouted at me. Put the knife away, you scared him. If anything happens to him, I'll never forgive you. Daniel chimed in. What are you doing, Diane? Making a scene like this? Does that make you happy Mom's old? Why fight her? The neighbors called security. Only then did they leave. I went straight to building management and deactivated all old key fobs. Useless now. Theo sighed. How did it get this bad? How to explain? Was it when my sister-in-law tried to marry me off to her cousin so her family could milk me forever? Or when Mom demanded I gift my condo so Gio could enroll in a coveted school? Theo was the client side in a big deal, financially miles above me. If we married, I'd be even more secure, which would make me easier to squeeze. Mom moved too fast, teamed up with my sister-in-law, and snapped this ATM in half. After seeing me snap with a knife, Mom backed off in person, but she and my sister-in-law kept poking me on WhatsApp. Diane, Mom wrote, "He's your blood nephew. Are you really going to deny him a good school over money? You watched him grow up. You're hurting him and your mother. Families always favor the weaker child. Your life is great. Your brother's isn't. You'd make him sell the house." I started replying with a single scene. My sister-in-law got nastier. Transfer the condo. I'll overlook your recent crimes. If not, I'll divorce your brother and you'll never see my son again. I typed one-word scram and blocked her. They tried to come to my place again, then learned their key fobs were dead. A few days later, I trended on X. My sister-in-law posted a 1,000-word essay about my unfilial heart, claiming I'd pointed a knife at my mother. Turns out my brother had secretly filmed the kitchen scene and uploaded it. Theo saw it before I did and hid my phone, afraid it would wreck me. But my identity leaked anyway. A client executive called to warn me not to create a scandal during our deal. Scandal. The words set off alarms in my head. I opened my laptop. WhatsApp was a mess. I answered friends who were actually worried, then called my sister-in-law. Meet me. Talk. She sniggered. Busy lady finally remembers us. Weren't you the one threatening murder? I'm giving you one chance, I said. Talk or don't. If not, I'll shutter my company and move abroad. She couldn't sit still. Fine. You finally came to your senses. We're taking a weekend trip to a hot springs resort. Come, we'll talk there. I looked at the hotel address and made my plan. At the resort, I asked, first, how are you going to explain what you posted? She filed her nails. What's the rush? I didn't lie. I turned to Mom. So you agree I mistreat you, I abuse you. Mom flushed. If you'd just signed over the condo from the start, none of this would happen. We're family. After Gio gets into the school, they can give the condo back. Don't you trust your own family? Funny, I said. When I asked you to sign a promissory note, why did you refuse? Her brows nodded. What sort of family signs, IOUs? I stared. So my money is everyone's money. Supporting parents is my duty. Fine. But when did I become responsible for my brother, his wife, and their kid too? My sister-in-law cut in. Are we here to fight or to talk? Your temper hasn't changed. I'm done. Daniel tried to play peacemaker. We're family. Why keep arguing? I gave up and called Dad. As always, he was buried in lab work. I summarized everything and asked if he planned to step in. Just do what your mother says, he mumbled. Don't argue. She's getting old. I hung up. In our house, women fight the fires. Men bask in the warmth. When Grandpa died, Dad's sister tried to grab Mom and Dad's marital condo. Dad caved so hard we almost ended up on the street. Mom fought in court and kept the place. Now she was the one standing with my brother demanding my condo. The irony made me dizzy. That night, I slept badly. Half dreaming, I felt a weight and couldn't breathe. I jerked up and stabbed with the fruit knife under my pillow. A scream tore the dark. Mom and my sister-in-law barged in. Her younger brother Kyle was on the floor, blood trickling down his arm, face white. What happened? My sister-in-law shrieked. Call 911. I sat on the bed, knife in hand. It's a cut on his arm. You want the police involved? This becomes a felony. You sure about that? You stabbed him, she snapped. We'll call the cops and you can rot in jail. I wiped the blade and pointed at my phone on the dresser, camera light on. He used a key to enter my hotel room past midnight. Who gave it to him? Should I ask the front desk? Or did you pay him to take the fall? If not my advice, don't call. The bigger this gets, the harder it is to clean up. She bared her teeth. What's hard to clean? My brother showed interest in you. That's your luck. You think just anyone gets his attention. You hurt him. I'll never let this go. I looked straight at Kyle. You broke in to assault me. I defended myself. That's lawful. If you want an ambulance and cuffs, I'm not afraid. He'd taken a law class or two. The color drained from his face. He tugged her sleeve. She clutched him and hissed, if anything happens to him, your whole family's finished. Delete everything you posted, I said. Apologize publicly. Do that and I'll let this go. If not, your brother goes to jail. Let's see if your parents forgive you. In her world, her brother mattered more than her son. If there were only one school district home, she'd give it to her brother, not her child. Mom sat and wept. How did our family get like this? How I snapped. If you love your grandsons so much, earn the money yourself. You want me to provide, but only so I can be a machine you control. When I refused, you tried to sell me off and enabled someone to hurt me. If anything had happened to me, how long would you have cried? Mom whispered, You're my daughter. I couldn't let anything happen. I believed she wasn't lying. The problem was how little of her love reached me. I didn't expose that she and my sister-in-law set the trap. I promised I wouldn't call the police this time. At the door, my sister-in-law still couldn't resist a parting shot. You think you'll be safe with Theo? I checked his family's 10 times richer than yours. When he dumps, you don't come crawling back. After the way you treated Gio, he'll never call you aunt again. I stared at her like the lunatic she was. Leave. Or I dial 911. She shut up. When Theo heard, he was furious. You didn't trust me enough to call. You went alone. Looking at his worried face, something in me softened and ached. The men in my family had always been quiet shadows, never stepping up. I hugged him. Okay, next time I'll call you first. He held me tighter. My sister-in-law deleted her video and posted a coy misunderstanding note. Diane's actually a good person. If she's willing to lend us the school district home, great. If not, we won't force her. She never mentioned that I'd paid for the condo entirely myself, so the comments assumed I'd stolen a home from my parents. Strangers lined up to praise her and drown me. Theo, livid, made a burner account to clap back and got banned for swearing. I laughed into his shoulder. Enough. Don't waste your breath. My company's relocating to the south, let's go. I delayed expansion for years because Dad was gone, and Mom couldn't manage alone. Now that I'd severed the rope, I felt wings. On the day my core team flew to Australia, I posted a compilation video, 3 people at a table plotting. My sister-in-law's voice, I asked around, that Theo is just a rich boy. He'll toss Diane when he's bored. She'll be miserable. My brother would be better, we'd be family. Mom hesitated. I won't allow anything that hurts Diane. Daniel said, if it blows over after they sleep together and she dumps Theo, all the better. We don't need his kind. At least we know your brother. We're just worried about Diane. Don't you want her with someone steady? The clip cut to Mom wavering, making them promise not to hurt me. Just that one thing, and my sister-in-law purring. When she's both my sister-in-law and my sister-in-law by marriage, why would I treat her badly? As for the condo, keep pushing. Gio is her blood. If he has a future, so does the Du family. Then I posted security camera footage of them showing up at my place to force the transfer and of Kyle sneaking into my hotel room. The internet went silent. What kind of mother helps someone try to assault her own daughter? One comment read, "These in-laws live off everyone and call it love." My sister-in-law nuked her accounts, but I'd already sent everything to her company's HR inbox. When our plane landed, my phone filled with missed calls from home. Dad's voice boomed when I picked up. How could you do this? Your mother's sick from anger. Where are you? Why aren't you answering? As usual, I was the unfilial one who ruined the family. Dad, I said calmly, you are my father in the biological sense only. From the day I graduated, I've financed this house. Supporting Mom is my responsibility. Supporting your son and your grandson is not. If being a man is as cushy as you've had it, I wouldn't mind being one in my next life. I've done enough. Don't expect another dime. I hung up and called Mom. I'll pay for your retirement on schedule. Not a penny extra. The insurance binder in the TV console has only your dad's and Daniel's names. Put your hand on your heart and tell me you've been fair. You love me, but not enough. So the money you get will be enough, but not more. I've liquidated my properties back home. If you want to claim anything, ask a lawyer what's legal. Don't come looking for me again. I don't know what I'll do if you push me. Thank you, Mom. After hesitating 1,000 times, you gave me the courage to cut the cord. Dad eventually quit and came home useless without people catering to him. Mom faced a man who acted like an overgrown prince and had nothing left but helplessness. They fought so loudly the neighbors heard through the walls. Daniel and my sister-in-law divorced. The money I'd funneled through Mom had always found its way to him, inflating him like a mini tycoon. Without my cash, he couldn't even feed his car. To keep up, he took out online loans. Debt collectors pounded on the door. Dad tore up what little was left of family ties and threw him out. Mom wept and called Dad selfish, but she couldn't pay the debts either and turned on him. None of it surprised me. The men in my family always looked out for themselves, first cowards when trouble hit. Otherwise, Dad wouldn't have fled to Antarctica for research and left us to it. Mom couldn't manage her son or her husband, but she still cooked and served like a maid. When Dad had a mild stroke, Mom chose not to intervene. He died. She sold the apartment to pay Daniel's debts. My sister-in-law didn't even seek custody. She had to support her brother, and dragging a kid would ruin her remarriage prospects. Her parents cursed her and shoved her toward the matchmaking market. She kept harassing me online. I replied now and then with photos of my new life, and she cursed so filthily that the app blurred her words. I asked her once, genuinely curious, "I've never treated you badly. Why hunt me like this?" For once, she answered without swearing. It's natural for a sister to take care of her brother. If your money doesn't go to the Du family, should it go to outsiders? There it was. I laughed softly. That's your natural law, not mine. Even your own parents don't want you, and you still fund your brother. Aren't you ashamed? You can't even love yourself. Your whole life you've been a blood bag. When you needed them, did they show up? She didn't reply. I don't care whether my words ever reached her. 1,000 miles is far enough that none of them can lay a hand on me again. Diane, over here! Theo called from the courtyard, colleagues waving beside him. I looked up and walked toward them light as air. From now on, I live for me.